Chery invited some of the biggest automotive YouTubers in the Philippines. Did I just lump myself in that category? To test drive the new Chery Tiggo 8 Pro. The Tiggo 8 Pro comes in 3 variants, each designed to target a different demographic. For those who want performance, there's the 2-liter turbo. So this has a 2-liter turbo, which produces 250 horsepower. It's also all-wheel drive. For those who value fuel efficiency, there is the PHEV model, which is a plug-in hybrid. This PHEV model claims some very impressive numbers. It can do an average of 83 kpl. That's about 1.2 liters per 100 kilometers. Also, another very impressive figure is that this has a combined 320 horsepower. For those who want luxury and advanced driver aids, there is the 1.6-liter turbo. So, is it worth the money? Let's find out. The meetup was ACEA Beach Resort in Subic. 9 a.m. I met a lot of familiar faces and some not so familiar faces. Chery has been giving me landouts for 2 years now, but since there was a pandemic, this is the first time that I'm meeting the people behind the brand. We were first briefed about the specs of the different variants. Apparently, my horsepower figure for the Tiggo 8 Pro 1.6 was not accurate. It has 196 horsepower, not 183, and that's why it was so much faster than the Okavango. By the way, I have reviewed the 1.6 already. If you haven't seen it yet, you can click on the link above. So first, let's talk about the differences among the 3 variants. Aside from the obvious differences in features, mechanicals, and electronics, the 3 variants also look different from the outside. The 1.6 has the most simple looking front end. Again, if you haven't seen my review of the 1.6 yet, you can click on the link above. I'll talk about the 1.6 in more detail in my review. The PHEV and the 2.0 have the same front fascia, which looks a bit more appealing in my opinion. So the PHEV and the 2-liter look identical. They both have this gray shroud around the grille. The PHEV and the turbo also get a different air intake here. By the way, this is real, it's not just for show. But like the 1.6, it gets the same Sunshine Galaxy grille. And all variants get the same LED headlamps with LED DRLs and sequential turn signals. One thing that's missing here on the PHEV variant is the radar unit, because this does not come with adaptive cruise and automatic emergency braking. This is the interior of the 1.6. It is the most affordable variant, but it's also the most feature-packed. Chery gave it almost every driver assist feature that you can get on a modern car. You get adaptive cruise, lane keep assist, automatic braking, automatic steering, etc. And it also gets the most luxurious interior among the 3 variants. It gets 3-person memory settings, heated and cooled seats, among others. Not only is it the best equipped among the 3 variants, I think it's actually the best equipped in its price bracket. Okay, so on the inside, the PHEV model loses a couple of features, but it also gains a couple of features. So on the PHEV, the instrument cluster and the infotainment screen are integrated. So it looks like you have one very long screen here. You lose the 3-person memory settings, you lose the lumbar adjustment, you lose the seat heating and cooling. But you get the same soft touch materials on the dashboard, the same leather seats, you even get the same butterfly headrests, which I love. It's just that everything is black here. It doesn't get the 2-tone color scheme of the 1.6. You also lose some of the active driver aids like adaptive cruise control. You don't get automatic steering, but you still get dual zone climate control. You get the same high resolution 360 camera. Of course, you get a panoramic sunroof. PHEV stands for plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Let me explain what that is. You've probably heard of EVs. EVs, or electric vehicles, rely entirely on battery power. The problem with EVs here in the Philippines is that you can suffer from range anxiety if you don't have enough charging stations along your route. HEVs or hybrid electric vehicles don't have that problem. Hybrids are powered by both a gasoline engine and an electric motor. You don't ever have to charge hybrids because the engine or the momentum of the car will automatically charge the battery. The problem with hybrids is that you will still have to use fuel because it's mostly the engine that charges the battery. Now, PHEVs are like hybrids, but you can charge the battery without having to turn on the engine. You just have to plug it into an outlet. So as long as you have access to a power outlet and you don't exceed the range, you can use it as a pure electric vehicle indefinitely without having to use fuel. The Tiggo 8 Pro has a range of 99 kilometers, so you can use it every day in the city without having to use fuel as long as you charge it every day. So basically this is your hybrid system. You have your battery over here. So currently the engine is off and all the accessories are being powered by the battery. Now you'll see your battery range over here. So currently we have 99 kilometers of range. You can select between EV and HEV. HEV is hybrid mode, so it will automatically switch between the engine and the electric motor. But currently we're in EV mode, so the engine will remain off until you're low on battery power. You can change your regeneration rate by using the shifter. So you have 3 different levels of regeneration. So at number 3, the battery will regenerate faster, but you'll also get more regenerative braking. The interior of the 2-liter looks almost the same as the PHEV. Looking straight ahead, you don't see any differences. If you look up though, you'll notice that it doesn't come with a panoramic sunroof. Not having a panoramic sunroof does have its advantages. It has more headroom than both the 1.6 and the PHEV. It may have the fewest electronic toys, but its claim to fame is that it is the only high-performance, all-wheel drive crossover that you can buy for under 3 million pesos. At least here in the Philippines. Chery has not officially launched the 2.0 here yet, so they may still change some of the specs before we actually get to buy it. Anyway, we'll do a full review of the 2.0 and the PHEV when we actually get a land out. Our destination was the Mount Samat Cross. The roads going there were twisty, the perfect place to test the handling of the Tiggo 8 Pro. I first got to drive the 1.6 liter. For a mid-size 7-seater crossover, it actually handles pretty well. The Tiggo 8 Pro is based on the T1X Comfort platform, which it shares with Jaguar Land Rover. If Geely has Volvo, Chery has Jaguar Land Rover. The chassis features fully independent suspension in all 4 corners, which improves handling. Body roll is kept to a minimum. I would have appreciated a slightly faster steering ratio, but I'm nitpicking. All variants of the Tiggo 8 Pro have boatloads of power. Even the 1.6, which has the least amount of power, feels very quick. The Mount Samat Cross is a 92-meter structure, 500 meters above sea level, that stands as a memorial to the soldiers who died in the Battle of Bataan. The view up there was amazing. So after taking photos, we headed back down again, and this time I finally got to drive the PHEV. Now unfortunately, since we were all driving pretty aggressively on the way up, the PHEV only had 12 kilometers of range left. But because we were going downhill, I was able to coast from time to time, and coasting charges the battery, so when we got back, I still had 12 kilometers of range left. And I drove it pretty aggressively. My first ever land out was actually the original Chery Tiggo 8. The original Tiggo 8 blew me away, mostly because my expectations were so low. This time though, my expectations of the brand are much higher, but the Tiggo 8 Pro still managed to blow me away. This doesn't just match the competition, I think it blows the competition out of the water. Basically, aside from the car itself, I think my takeaway from this from this media drive is that Chery is definitely a different brand now. They believe in their products. I mean, if the 10-year, 1 million kilometer warranty isn't proof enough for you that they believe in their products, then I don't know what else can convince you. So they believe in their products. They're also car enthusiasts, and they know what enthusiasts want. So each of these variants is specifically targeted to a specific enthusiast. Like I said, the 2-liter is targeted towards the performance enthusiast. This PHEV variant is targeted towards those who are looking to save fuel and also to save the environment. And also the 1.6-liter it's just the most luxurious, most feature-packed crossover at 1.6 million pesos. So each of these variants is the class leader in its respective price bracket. So to those who are still thinking that Chery is a cheap brand, like the Cherys of old, I strongly recommend that you test drive one of these things. And trust me, going back to a regular Japanese car of the same price feels like a significant downgrade. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.